A new season for new art, new creativity, new laughs, new stories, and of course, the Media Prince. I welcome you. Conversations with the Media Prince.
Nike Boy.
Hey, it's your boy, the Media Prince, and we are back with another episode of Conversations with the Media Prince, where I get to dive in and talk to some epic, amazing people that are help pushing our area forward in such tremendous ways. And like no other, I am joined by this woman right here. When I tell you she's the epitome of pushing the culture forward. She is a renowned publicist. When I tell you, everyone is raving about this young lady, and she's been plastered all over the world. Okay. I say this lady is just dynamic. She's infectious. She's genuine. And it's someone that you can always count on in this industry. And I tell her she wears so many hats, but gets all jobs done. The one, the only, Miss Mercy. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I feel amazing that I get to talk to you. I low-key cheat with these interviews because this is like my fan out moment to get all the questions that I've always wanted to know about you guys' careers and where you made it to in your careers. I think there's so much dynamic art with what you do, and I think it can help answer a lot of questions for people that are just missing those pieces in their puzzles that gets them to their next step in life. And let's take it back before you were a renowned publicist, before people are knocking at your door. Mm-hmm. Where did that eye for entertainment even come into fruition?
So thank you. You're so complimentary. As publicists don't get complimented enough, so thank you. And I'm a Leo, so I need it. I don't know. I think just living all over the world. I'm originally from Zimbabwe. My mom was a diplomat, so myself and my sister. So I always say we for early life stuff. We were born in Japan, moved all over the world. And I think really being able to see how entertainment like literally transcends borders, it's probably been part of my motivator. I mean, yes, we grew up in New York. We were there during like the crisscross TLC era where we had our pants backwards, but we still were in Zimbabwe and have talent shows where we sang Aaliyah and then moved to Switzerland for high school and still spitting, Tupac and Biggie. And I think it's just amazing that all of those things followed us all over the world. And I wanted to be a part of it. And really, I got the spark from magazines. Honestly, I was obsessed with journalists, and I still am, clearly, but that was the catalyst.
I love that. I love that. And what would you say was that first like nudge, like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh, that's a great question. Because I'm really hard on myself, I don't know that I've honestly felt that way, but I think every time I get a client press and they're really happy about it, I get a huge, blast of serotonin or endorphins or whatever it is that most publicists are always chasing. I think when in my early days, it was really like writing an amazing article because I started off as a journalist. So writing an amazing article that, people were passing around or spreading or reading, that's when I thought, okay, I have something here. And then moving to becoming a full-blown publicist, getting my clients their first hit in national press always felt amazing and still does to this day. So, and the fact that people call me a publicist now, I think is just amazing and a step in the right direction because I really started in the streets.
Yeah, and I think what's so beautiful about publicists too is everyone sees the person on the main stage, right? But no one really knows about the art that's happening behind the stage that makes this person ready to either get on center stage. Yeah. The publicist is really orchestrating how the brand looks, It's really, and I was just talking about this the other day because we just saw that it was like little tension between Usher and Chris Brown over the weekend. And people don't even realize that it has to be a publicist that cleans up all of that because it now diminishes the brand. And people don't really put into perspective how much hard work and efforts a publicist really puts into making someone we love. Like the reason why we love them. It helps with the marketing, the branding, the image consulting, and that's all in the realms of what the publicist is doing. Does it ever get overwhelming?
Every day. Yeah. I mean, I think PR is such a huge umbrella. So I typically focus on media relations, which is completely changing right now. Not only with the economy, with layoffs, but also with AI and people kind of cutting corners. But when you think about a publicist, they play so many roles, like you said. It could be pitching journalists one day. The next day, we're talking to a website designer about, editing the website and making sure the language is updated. The next day, we're image consulting. The next day, we're just holding someone's hand through an interview. And of course, there is the crisis element, which is my least favorite because honestly, sometimes you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But we are really adept and nimble when it comes to telling our clients, like, hey, put the phone down for a second. Let's really think this through. Let's be responsible, right, with your image and what you're telling people. But I tell people all the time too, you're only as good as your team. So you can't just have a publicist and expect you're going to make it the next day. You have to have a full blown team because all of it works together. We're a cog in the wheel. So you should have a publicist, you should have a manager, you should have an accountant, you should have a lawyer. You shouldn't expect your publicist to be all the things, even though we do play a million roles. I mean, we write blogs for our clients, we write their speeches. Sometimes we talk their kids off the ledge. Sometimes we're planning their baby showers. Like, it honestly runs the gamut, but you should have a full team so you can reach your maximum potential. But yes, overwhelming all the time. We are stressed out. Let's drink too much as a result. I've stopped drinking this month. But we also find, thank you. We also find community in different organizations, in smaller PR groups. Like, there's a text group of just some amazing Black female publicists where we go back and forth and say, hey, does anyone have this producer contact? Or let me tell you what happened today with a client. Just having that listening ear helps. But yes, I think there was a study pretty recently that listed PR as one of the most stressful occupations in the world, right behind firefighters. So that should tell you something.
With that and all of that, what is it that keeps you going? What is it that keeps you motivated?
Honestly, I can say I love the work because I do, but I honestly love all my clients. I'm really lucky in that all of my business has been referral based, and I'm able to really pick and choose who I get to work with. And I make sure I work with people who are making a difference in their community. So even though, yes, I love music and entertainment, I make sure it's an artist who really has something to say versus, twerk something, pop something on a handstand, which is great. But are we donating to a dance program at the end of the day? Or, what issues are we tackling? So yeah, I think that keeps me going because I've seen so many levels of poverty all over the world, from Zimbabwe to Switzerland to here. And it's amazing how a lot of people still need help and a lot of people don't get it. So in everything I do, even though I'm not out here passing out food or in the Peace Corps or whatever, at least I can make a difference by spreading the news about people who are actually doing things that make sense. So
I love that. How important was it to make sure you align your brand with brands that make sure that they do give back?
Really important. I think I got my first little taste of PR in entertainment, where there were moments where certain artists would have things in their writers that I just didn't understand. Again, knowing different levels of poverty, I'm like, a towel that's not the color you want should not be an issue. You know what I mean? Just certain things felt so trivial to me, and it didn't sit right with my spirit. So as much as I love the industry, I knew that I wanted to make sure that I was at the intersection of entertainment and advocacy, social impact. I think my early beginnings in the nonprofit sector really helped me see that, and really helped me see like, oh, these dollars are actually helping change people's lives. So it was super important so that I knew I have something to get up in the morning for versus just I'm on a red carpet. There's more to it than just that. And for those who are doing it, I know that they're motivated in a different way. Everyone's motivated by different things, but I wanted to make sure that they both, those two worlds collided.
I love that. I love that. What do you say to the publicist that is ready to go in that arena of aligning themselves with brands that do have more of a purpose and a mission versus what they did sign up for? What advice would you give for them with transitioning in that arena, especially in a time frame where people feel as though the market is already not enough? So some people are holding on to what they have to do just because they don't know how to completely pivot, as well as get a job in that arena. So what advice would you give them in that aspect?
I think it really is strategic. I think slow and steady wins the race. I was working a full-time job for many years, but literally the past 6 years, I was working and also had clients at the same time. So I was setting myself up and building that foundation so that I could attract what I wanted. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't super easy. I had a client 1 month and didn't have them next month. So it's really just building that resilience. It's being strategic. And honestly, really getting experience in different fields helps. Publicists are just like journalists, and like we are curious people. We learn different fields. One day we're talking to lawyers, the next we're talking to scientists, the next we're in crypto, and then the next we're talking to. So it's important, I think, especially if you start an agency, to get your hands in everything you can, learn different skills. I learned graphic design. I was doing video voiceovers. I've written scripts. I've done so many things that have made me an amazing publicist, if I do say so myself, in a way that I can, spearhead something for a client that they didn't expect that I could. I've had so many nonprofit clients who are like, can you write a video script? I'm like, as a matter of fact, I can. So for those who want to transition, it's really knowing where you want to go and then start building those blocks for yourself to build a foundation to take those steps. I think right now there's so much instant gratification when we're looking on social media. And honestly, I look at TikTok and I'm like, oh my God, I need to be a luxury girly. Okay, what should I buy today? But I'm like, I don't need that designer purse yet. So it's just like, again, figuring out what you need, figuring out how you can get there. What are the steps in that industry that you need to take, and then start making those connections. Really, my whole career has been supported by just networking and the relationships I've built.
I love that. And I think something that I got from your career too is patience and grace. I think we're in such a microwave phase where everyone just thinks tomorrow is they should get everything. Yeah. And people tend not to enjoy the process, enjoy the moments that you have, because these are helping build your test and resume so that you will eventually be where you want to be. How important was it to make sure you gave yourself grace and you gave yourself patience in your career?
That's a great question. I don't know that I am the most patient person. I think in hindsight, there were things that slowed me down in order to be patient. I would say immigration is one of them. I wanted to be a journalist, but then I was like, oh, no one's going to sponsor my visa to do that. So switching to PR, which was great. Patience wise, when I say I started in the streets, I did not start at an agency. I started literally by working with different individuals in the DMV area and just said, hey, I want to do PR. Can I do PR for you? And they're like, sure. What does that mean? And I was like, we'll figure it out together. And I wasn't, getting paid, and I was doing a lot of things for free in my 20s. And I never tell people now that they should do that, but I think it's honestly just learning the art of PR. Publicists are honestly just creators, just like everybody else. People don't look at us that way, but we literally make something out of nothing every single day. So really learning the art and the craft of PR, I think, has been a blessing, because I appreciate it more. I'm able to really explain to clients before we even sign a contract, like, this is what PR means. This is what you can get from it. And PR is actually a luxury item. Like, if you don't have a certain amount to pay someone a retainer every month, then you might want to come back to it later when you've gotten to that place. But just learning the art of PR. Patience in PR looks so many different ways now, but I think building the relationships is the first step. It's a blessing to be able to call fellow publicists and fellow journalists for help. I have anchors who petition for my segments to get on sometimes when the producer isn't responding. So even just having those relationships is amazing. So,
okay. Oh, what does Mercy today say to that Mercy that took on her first a brand to do PR for?
Mercy. No, I think Mercy today has more clarity. I believe in myself more. My confidence is up. I used to be in the room and not say anything and cower. So I'm like, okay, well, these are the real publicists. I'm just here, trying to learn. But I think really just honestly being delusional in a way and believing in yourself is the way to go, because who else will? So I think definitely I believe in myself more. I trust myself. I even trust myself when I'm advising clients. In my earlier days, I would say, well, I think you should do this. What do you think? And that's not what you're paying me for. So it's really a muscle that you have to build, just like trying to lose weight, trying to build a muscle. You're in the gym and you have to be consistent. And that's all it is. So I'm just lucky that I've stuck with it, because there are many times where I've wanted to quit, because as my mentor, Ava of TAPR says, I remember she said this and I felt it in my spirit, like, PR is not for the heart, because people quit every day. I've seen publicists switch to just, government jobs and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, because it's a lot. It's very taxing. You're running around. It's a lot of emotional work too, because people expect so much from you and you have different entities leaning on you and your expertise.
Are you ever shocked at your strength?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've been through some wild situations, and what I appreciate, which people always say about me, is that apparently I've been called as cool as a cucumber. So literally in crazy situations, I can, maintain the same demeanor and say, hey guys, everything's going to be okay. Inside, I'm freaking out. But having that posture and having that demeanor has really helped me through a lot of situations I never thought I'd get through. And I've lost sleep over client things, crises, and, just overthinking things. And man, I wish I should have said this, or maybe I should have charged more. So to get to a place where I feel confident about the decisions I've made has been great. Because I've run into some crazy things, like fans lying that they're an artist cousin trying to get in VIP, to, a client being called racist in the media. Huge spectrum of things you literally wake up and don't expect, and then it's at your front door. So, yeah.
And what you get from that is it shows who's really built for this career. I always say I look at you guys as the chosen ones, and only a few are chosen.
Yeah.
And if you're really built for this career, you will last. And if you're not, it would definitely show itself. How would you describe the Mercy experience in 4 words?
Oh, the Mercy experience. Wow. What's a good word? Okay, so grateful. That's one thing I always hold true. I'm always grateful for my clients.
I love that.
Graceful, because everything moves like choreography.
Mm.
Nurturing, because I can't help it. I'm a recovering people pleaser, so there's that. And fun, honestly. I like to have fun with my clients. Most of them have turned into my friends and family, so I like to think we have a good time working together.
I like that. What is one of the biggest misconceptions about publicists that you would say in your words?
I think the biggest misconception about publicists is that we are consistently in glamorous places, making magic, fixing things, and doing it effortlessly with no sweat on our foreheads. I think a lot of people don't understand how deep PR can be and how important and complex it is. It's not so easy breezy. We're just on the carpet with our clients, helping them with their dress. It can make or break a client, honestly. I've seen some campaigns go really bad. I mean, there's so many examples, particularly starting during the pandemic. We all saw a lot of people get it wrong. And then publicists were called to make it right. There's situations now, I won't name them, but publicist quits you. That's a good sign that, like, hey, something ain't right in the water. So yeah, I think a lot of times, even in the media and in TV, you look at publicists as, oh, they're just hanging out on the red carpet and, annoying journalists. But we really are thoughtful about the way that we show up and the work that we do.
Yeah, and I think something too that you can take away, and it also coincides with what you said earlier, really trusting yourself. You can tell when something doesn't feel right or if something feels really good and moving on that.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get to that place?
I mean, I think I trust myself more every year. I would say from the point where I started really doing PR, let's just say the past decade, honestly, because I never felt like a real publicist. I think just learning and growing and, looking at what other publicists were doing and looking at people's pitches and going through workshops and training and conferences. Because I only worked at an agency for about a year, I always felt like I was at a deficit than other folks, not really understanding that everyone has to start somewhere. My mentor another mentor of mine gave the example of, like, when you get on a plane, you could sit next to someone who paid double what you paid for to get there. You don't know everyone's journey, right? So you might look at someone in first class and be like, dang, who do they know? But they might have had a buddy pass, or they may have paid $1,000 and you could be sitting next to them and paid zero. So it's like I always compared myself, but I realized after so many years, like, oh, wow, once I learned people's stories, like, I'm actually not at a deficit. I'm doing pretty good. And they were in awe of me the same way I was in awe of them.
And one thing I have to commend and appreciate that she said, ladies and gentlemen, is she did her homework and her research to where she is today. We're in a world where I'm gonna just be frank. There are people that are close to me that's like, I think I'm gonna be a publicist. I'm like, for what? Like, you're not even doing your homework to see why and what are you doing? And I think what's so dope about your career is knowing that you also did your homework. You were a student of the art and really made sure that when you put your foot in this, you were going in there with knowledge. And I think that's something that we have to cherish a little bit more, especially in the time we see today where everyone's just trying everything just to try everything. I must commend that and applaud you on that. And it goes to show why you are so amazing at what you do and why so many people love to work with you.
I appreciate that. I mean, I get those folks who come up to me all the time because I speak to a lot of college kids and high school kids too. We're like, I want to be a publicist. And I'm like, great, and I talk them through what works. But more importantly, I let them know the mistakes that I made when I first started. because someone has to let them know, like, this is what I got wrong, because people are always talking about what they got right. So when I talk to them, and that goes for anybody, they're able to make a more informed decision on, do I really want to do this? And like, oh, this is the real day to day. Oh, I don't know if I want to write a press release or edit my clients' blogs or even write my client speeches. And I think we have to start being more honest about what jobs entail. I see a lot of publicists online and doing, ebooks, and I think that's great. But it's like, are you really educating people, or are you just giving them a template to copy paste? Because you can only get to a certain level at that point. But if you continue to really build yourself and immerse yourself and throw yourself in different experiences, then you can make it. And there are kids who I talk to. It's so weird to say they're kids because I feel like I'm still a kid, but I'm not. There are kids who I've talked to who are now doing better than me and like, on the vice president track at their PR firms. And it's just because I motivated them and gave them the real deal on what PR entails. So, it is about knowing it, knowing the craft, but also being realistic about it, because it's not glitz and glam, and you will get some fancy invitations to great events. But what happens the next day when you have to be on a client meeting at 8 a.m. or clients ready for that speech? So it's really important to know what you're getting yourself.
And I'm glad you're saying this, because people need to hear the authenticity of the career, because they do see the glitz and glam. That's all they see. They don't see, like you said, tomorrow you have to be up at 8 a.m. for a client call. They don't see that hard work that goes with it. So I'm glad you're getting to share that with them. Yeah. So what is next for Miss Mercy?
So it's been a year since I went off on my own. I left my wonderful job last year. And the funny thing was, the big reveal was that I had a job. But next is just building my company and figuring out what that looks like. I definitely want to add members to my team. I want to be able to do more than just media relations. So that's what I'm focused on, is really thoughtfully building a company that I would want to work for, which is why I went off on my own. There are a lot of people I love and admire, but I'm like, I think I can be my own boss and just do this differently, and really add my international touch to it, and awareness to it and diversity to it. So yeah, that's what's next, is building my business, and also picking up other skills. One of my favorite pastimes is wine.
My favorite thing.
Winery page back in the pandemic that I've actually abandoned right now. It's called Black Girls in Vineyards, because I really wanted to see more images of just Black women enjoying themselves at wineries. So I really want to build that up and get my certification so I can tell people about wine and not just say it's good, but really describe the flavors and the profiles and what region it's from. So outside of working, I do want to kind of increase that muscle and just learn other things too.
Oh, that's actually really dope. And that's another layer we get to learn about you in that aspect. Yeah. And I know everybody tuning into this are definitely wine lovers. Who doesn't love a good wine? I mean,
what kind? So yeah, I think it's important to have a hobby. I mean, I don't want drinking to be my hobby, but I've really been thinking about it, because people are like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I work. And then I don't have another answer. So I realized, I might need a hobby. Yeah.
Hey, I say this is the Jordan year, and the year of possibilities, and the year of new things. So yeah, I say do it, and the rest will be history.
That's what the goal is.
Hey. So before I let you go, I want to play this fun game with you called Either Or. I've played it with everybody, and I love to get people on their toes, because it's hard to kill off a legend, but you must do so.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna give you two hip hop legends. Okay. The person you say stays. Okay. The person you don't say never existed.
Oh.
And for you, I'm going to give you 2 mercy passes.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Tupac or Biggie?
Oh no, they're gonna kill me. Damn. You know, this is a hard one. I'm honestly gonna go with Tupac.
Okay. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z. That was easy.
Okay.
Sorry, Nas.
Eminem or J. Cole?
Oh, you know, I'm gonna go with J. Cole.
Okay. Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick all day long.
Okay. See, we here with that. I used to have a toss up, but now I can honestly say I'm going to choose Kendrick Lamar. Okay. Kanye West or Lil Wayne?
Kanye.
Okay. See, Kanye still has some love out here.
I have an affinity for Kanye's music more than Lil Wayne, but I get it. I love Lil Wayne, but still, Kanye.
Andre 3000 or Common?
Oh, come on. I love Common so much. This is why I'll take the Mercy Pass because it was one of the first rappers I saw in concert. So I can't pick, but Andre is a favorite, of course.
Okay. So let's move on to the ladies.
Oh,
Little Kim or Trina?
Lil Kim.
Okay. Remy Ma or Nicki Minaj?
Nicki.
Okay. Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion?
Meg.
Okay. Eve or Foxy Brown?
Eve.
Okay. I love Eve too. Lotto or Doja Cat?
Doja.
Okay. And one more. Missy Elliott or Left Eye?
Mercy Pass. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes.
You did really good though.
Thank you.
And you used the 2 passes where I would have used them. So
Good.
let's give it up for Mercy. Please let them know where they can follow you and find you, and also where they can join the wine journey.
So you can go to my website, mercyc.com. My Instagram is It's Mercy C. ITSMERCYC. That's usually where I post. So follow the wine journey. You can follow my Instagram and just see my foolishness. But my wine page is Black Girls in Vineyards. So BLK Girls in Vineyards. And it's fun. I will restart it, but it's got beautiful images of people I actually know that I took myself at wineries. And I'll jumpstart that again soon, probably this summer once I start drinking again, because I have to learn, so that will be my excuse when you see a glass of wine in my hands. But yeah, so I really look forward to connecting with everyone. I do a lot of PR consultations. I like to let people know what PR is, what it entails. So feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or my website if you need any help.
Well, I must say, I just want to give you your flowers. You are doing an amazing job. You are helping curate so many brands and getting so many messages out there that are really, really helping push infrastructure. And I just commend you on all your hard work and thank you for what you're doing. It's people like you that allow other Black people to see themselves in great spaces and see that they can do great things. So I thank you so much, Mercy. Now, I always like to leave each interview off with a sentiment. So what is one motto that you live by?
You can change your life any day.
There you have it. Conversations with the Media Prince. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for highlighting publicists.
No, thank you guys for being publicists, because it's because of you guys why we are so great out here in these streets, and that's a Media Prince stamp.